I'm just going to quickly run through what we're going to do for the rest of the afternoon. We're going to hear from some of our speakers on the list. There are a couple of people who haven't turned up, so we are going to hear from George and from Jane and from Michael. After that, we're going to hear some feedback from the sessions that you all attended and contributed to, and then we're going to open the floor to, so that everybody has an opportunity to contribute to the action plan and what we're going to take away from here for the future from this afternoon. And then the very last part, we'll try and tie all of that together and give you a quick rundown on what's coming up over the next few days and weeks in terms of what we can do to resist. Before we hear from the speakers, I just wanted to take a minute or two, if you could bear with me, just to kind of throw in my own thoughts. And I know I haven't been here this morning, but I did want to say that what I wanted to kind of say was very much to get us thinking about this idea that austerity isn't working. Because actually, if you're one of the chosen few who are chosen by themselves, who have had 13 years in the long grass to go away and plan and really put together what they wanted to do, then austerity is working. In terms of creating a two-tier education system, austerity is working. In terms of creating, of privatising the NHS, austerity is working. In terms of dismantling not only the welfare state, but public services, then austerity is working. For those people who are getting richer on the broken backs of the poor and the working class in this country, austerity is a fantastic thing, and it is working exactly how they planned it. Unfortunately for them, that's only half the story, because we get to write the rest. We get to decide what it is we are going to put in their way to make sure that their plans and their theories never come to practice, and to make sure that we are doing absolutely everything within our power and more to challenge their plans every single step of the way. So, with that in mind, what I really want to do is get some practical ideas coming out of here this afternoon. And once we hear from the speakers and from the feedback from the groups, it's then about really saying what it is that we can do. We know a lot of what's going on, we know a lot of the theory, and we know a lot of the politics, but what we want now is activity, action, strength. So to kick on, I'm going to first ask George to speak. George Barrett is anti-cuts councillor from Barking. I'm going to ask speakers to limit their time to about 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'll give you a wave after 5 minutes. And thank you very much, George.
Right. George Barrett. Well, the acoustics in the room are not very good, so I hope you can hear me at the back. Okay? Just give me a shout if you can't hear. Yeah? Now, so I'm George Barrett, councillor, independent socialist from Barking and Dagenham, and also a member of the new Council Against the Cuts campaign, which is having a conference in Birmingham next Saturday. So we'll see what happens there. Now, I'd like to make a quick point. Now, you may or may not know that Ken Loach, the socialist filmmaker, is making a documentary called The Spirit of 1945. And what he's looking at is the foundations of the welfare state, and the detail is that people went through the privations, the hunger and the unemployment of the 1930s. They went through the Second World War. At the end of it, they said, we've had enough, we're going to get rid of Churchill, the Great War leader, and they elected Tony Attlee as the Labour Prime Minister, who was responsible for bringing in the National Health Service, nationalising coal and rail, and a whole series of other things. And that was probably the best Labour government we've ever had in this country. Now, the thing is that what we really want now is another 1945 moment. We want to get rid of everything that exists and elect a new lot. Because basically, over the last 5-6 years, we've seen so much scandal. We've seen the toxic mortgages from Wall Street. We've seen the LIBOR bank fixing rate. We've seen the MPs expensive. We've seen the corrupt Murdoch empire and links with Downing Street. And ultimately is the whole business of the behaviour of South Yorkshire Police during the miners' strike and also Hillsborough. And my feeling is basically one of disgust, and we've really got to sweep these people away and set up a new system in its place, because the existing one is just not working. Now, the only thing is, it is up to us. It's not going to happen on its own. We're going to make it happen. So it's up to us where we live. Now, we have an excellent sheet in your conference pack. Benefit Justice Summit, campaign action plan, how to get you started. And there's a whole checklist of things that you can follow. And what in fact has happened is that in Barking and Dagenham, we've been following more or less this path. And obviously, things will be different wherever you are, because communities are different and have different levels of militancy. Now, over the last year or so, things have been very, very difficult, because basically people have had immediate problems. Barking and Dagenham, we've got the highest rate of house repossessions, and also a record number of food banks. And people at the moment are not very political, but we're going to work with people. So one of the things that we've done is we organised a local conference. And what is interesting here is the type of people you get. Now, first time round, the people that we got were the white-collar workers, the teachers, local government, who were aware of exactly what was happening. And we didn't get so many workers in. So when you carry on in your campaign, you've got to be very, very conscientious. Keep at it. And the big thing is the publicity. You've really got to get through to people. Don't just send them a letter or phone them. You've got to go around and pester people, and you can get people at your events. So there are a whole series of things then. You've got your tenant groups and patient support groups, who are obviously interested in the NHS and maintaining its viability. We're going to start up a claimants union in Barking and Dagenham, because people signing on have been very, very unhappy about the level of benefits they've been getting. The trade councils and unions and the Labour Party are pretty iffy at the moment, because I mean, half the structure of the Labour movement is corrupt. So I mean, some people are okay and some people are not. But what you've got to do is to keep on working and get your contacts, names and addresses, and work with people over a period of time and start the campaign in your area. So, how much time have I got? Okay, right. So, essentially, as I say, you've got a whole series of things, those directives, and I wish you every success in the future.
I will have Jane Aitchison from the PCS unit.
Afternoon, brothers and sisters. I want to just start by saying that I am incredibly proud to bring full solidarity and support from the PCS union to what I have to say has been an absolutely fantastic event, and I'm sure that we would all agree on that point. Brothers and sisters, we've heard today the full scale of the attacks that have been unleashed upon the ordinary people of this country. Austerity, as we've heard in every single session that we've been to, has been used as a weapon to roll back the gains that our parents and our grandparents fought for since the Second World War. The start. Malnutrition has returned to this country. I was shocked. I live in Leeds, I work in Leeds, at a report 2 weeks ago that identified 34,000 people in Leeds currently are found to be malnourished. And yet at the same time, Britain has gone back up from being the 7th richest to the 6th richest country in the world. Oh. Beveridge's report was welcomed almost universally by people of all shades of opinion. 95% of people at the time said that they had heard of Beveridge's report and they had great interest in it. We've already heard about Ken Loach's new film, The Spirit of 45, and I have to say, I think remembering The Spirit of 45 comes just in the absolute nick of time. We need to work hard to recapture that spirit and defend the welfare state in its entirety. When it was introduced, Beveridge said, "A revolutionary moment in the world's history is a time for revolutions, not for patching." Well, we need to be against workfare, even in defence of the NHS. On their own, those campaigns will not defend the welfare state. In PCS, we're committed to the alternative. We have to promote the alternative. The alternative is collecting £123 billion of uncollected, avoided and evaded tax, investing in jobs, renationalising the hugely profitable utilities and the rail companies, NHS on its knees, freeing up the money from their money-grabbing clutches, capping rents, reintroducing fair rents and not bedroom taxes, reintroducing a welfare tax that we can all be proud of and doesn't rely on shame. PCS members, as you've already heard, will be striking on Budget Day on March the 20th. But we know it won't be good for us, and we know it won't be good for any of us. We are striking for jobs and for pay and for pensions, but we are also striking back against austerity. And we urge all of the trade unionists, pensioners, students, the unemployed and disabled workers to join with us in mass protests on Budget Day. Unite the Resistance have organised a huge protest in Downing Street, and we will be organising protests up and down the country too. PCS members really welcome this conference. We need benefit justice, not just for our claimants, but the people that we serve, but also as low-paid workers, we know that we need benefit justice for all of us. As the National Secretary of Unite the Resistance, I'm also incredibly proud of the role that we've played in uniting together the many and various campaigns. This has been an absolutely fantastic start, but I think we all agreed we need to build something bigger, we need to build something better. I have to say, we need to strike together, we need to protest together, and I have met some fantastic class fighters here today, and I am absolutely more sure than ever that together we can win. Thank you.